Welcome back to Octember 2025 Dishonorable Mentions Part 2. We just have this thing. My CleanTech UVC Air Purifier. CleanTech. I don't remember, this was sort of a China review, but they wanted me to compare it to like a couple of other ones that were not even in the same class or league. This thing had all sorts of fancy shit. It was kind of lackluster on features, but in terms of like a timer and the stupid display that burns out and all that kind of stuff. But it does have UVC. I don't think I saw another one that had UVC. And this was a great air purifier that they didn't do real-world testing on. And now they're out of business. I can't fix this, I can't get parts for this, and I can't get another one. Great! Yeah, this has a UVC bulb in it. I always thought it was weird because you could see down at the bottom the UVC come out of it, but it was kind of tucked away in a corner, so it didn't really bother anybody. But it was a little unnerving because that UVC is still leaking out. The way it worked is it would suck air in, like under here, and it would go through the thing, and the fan on top would blow it through. And while it was doing that, there's a filtner in there. We'll talk about that. There's a filtner in there. And then on top of that, there is a gigantic UVC bulb in this with a round mirrored finish around it to like bounce the light all around, so the air going through would be sanitized. That's kind of the idea. And I'd always hear this, it was just a low rumble on low, because on high it was unusable. So just a low rumble, and then when you shut the lights off, you'd look down at the bottom and you'd see the UVC. Yeah, it doesn't do that kind of anymore. The top has, I think this did have a timer or something. Yeah, I think if you put it on high, it runs for something. I don't remember. It did something. Let's see what it says. "2 hours max or 24 hours min." So that means it'll run on high for 2 hours and shut off, or you could run it for 24 hours a day, continuous, on low. And that's what it does. We'll turn it on. It's on. It's running. There's air coming out the top. And it's loud. Here's low. Tolerable. But let's go down to the bottom. Kill the orange light. Kill the room lights. Do you see any UV there? Well, I'm not sure what the camera's picking up. Maybe a little something? I don't see nothing. That's good. So let's open up the bottom of it. Now you're going to see what I'm talking about. First of all, well built, over designed. No wonder they went out of business. These are thumb screws that keep the bottom cover on. Long threads on them. And they also act as foots, but there's no rubber on them, so it'll just slide around. But we got to pull all of these. You can see how long they all are. And I don't know if you can tell yet, probably not because my hands and everything else is in the way, but the plastic is kind of yellowy in there. Yeah, that's called UV. They didn't think that one through. The filtner itself is another story, and I'm going to show you that. And we'll talk about why this maybe wasn't such a great idea. And now I don't know what to do with it. We'll talk about the black dirt in a little bit, but take a look at all of the yellowing. That's bad. Okay? You really don't want that light leaking out, and it did, always. So if you put it on a surface and left it there that was sensitive to that, it would be permanently discolored. Yeah, retrobrite, but even that is temporary. And what's all the black dust? That's from the filtner. Let's see if I can just pull it out carefully. See all the stuff on the inside? Disintegrating. It just crumbles to bits. Why? The UV. The UV broke it. Does it need a new filtner? Sure. Can you really get one? Not anymore. Does it still work as to make air go? Yeah. Kinda. Where can I put that? I guess over there. Let's see if you can see. Maybe I could zoom in. Bring you in a little. Can you see the glass tube? Big, long UV bulb. The whole inside is a mirror finish. And that was their claim to fame. Serious, that's like a foot and a half long, that bulb. Something like that. And that doesn't light up anymore. We'll go back here. We'll go ahead and plug it in. And when I say doesn't light up, I mean doesn't light up properly. Turn that off. I'll go to turn it on. I don't want to stand here too long, but see? It tried to light. It had that nice bright blue UV, but it can't sustain it. And now it's just this purple glow. It also makes strange sounds, but it won't stay lit. Something's failing, and I think it's that bulb. I'll get you a close-up of that. Nope. Yeah, it don't look good when it lights up. See, it shouldn't be that dark purple like that. It should be that nice blue, like a bug killer kind of thing. So this thing is essentially useless now. I could take the filtner and wash out the rest of it, clean out the rest of it, but look how it just crumbles to bits. Heavens to Betsy, crumbles to bitsy. There's all the shit right there. It's shot. And again, there's no parts. I can't do an Amazon Forever guarantee. I can't do anything. And again, this is a dishonorable mention because it was noticed that it failed in Octember. It's not an Octember failure per se, but it was noticed that it failed in Octember. And yeah, that's it. There. Gonna crumble up the rest and let it just, vacuum it out. Kind of put it back until it blows up. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen at this point? Yuck. Oh. So the UV, which was this thing's claim to fame, is what killed it. That's great. Damn. I like this one. It wasn't the quietest. It didn't have a fart sniffer. There's a link in the prescription to that. The one that has the fart sniffer that's in my office, yep, still have it in there since fixing it. And indeed, that fart sniffer is working great. Love when I get to trigger that thing off. Always a good time. Always a good time. But now the bulb in this is shot. The filtner in it is shot. What else do you do? That's it. So I don't have another UVC one. Like I said, I don't think it was necessarily the greatest idea. But man, is it ever overbuilt? Was it a tremendous thing? And it sucks. And this is kind of what happens to most people's air purifiers. They just let them turn to shit because you don't think about them. And that's that. And, of course, it was Octember when I noticed that it failed. That's great. Look how yellowed the inside is compared to the rest. For comparison, this Radio Shack line voltage meter probably has a layer of dust on it, is 26, 7, 8, 9, 30, probably about 32 years old. Somewhere in there. We're guessing about 32, maybe even a little more than that. That's allowed to be yellowed. Okay? Yeah. And in just a couple of years, 2021, that's what UV does. Bad news, and that's why you don't want to be near it or anything like that, because it will age you much faster than it can the plastic. If I could get a new bulb, maybe, but you can't. There's nothing. Nothing. It might be marked. It is. But it's like not worth pursuing, you know? It just kind of is. It lived its day. Not for nothing, the inside mirrored coating, let me see if I get you a shot of that. That actually didn't fare too well either. Do you see the little variegations in it? Kind of right there. That's all the mirror coating peeling off. In fact, it's loose in there. I don't know if that sees anything. No, can't go that way. See it? It's all peeling off. A good China product that was overbuilt and killed itself for being too good in its time? What? Well, of course, what else would you expect? They put themselves out of business for building too good of a product. And this is why we can't fix America. Bring jobs back to the U.S. Let's bring manufacturing back to the U.S. And I'm not saying that like our president. I'm just saying in general, those people who are hell-bent on, I want made in USA. Those kind of people. We can build something this good in the USA, and it's going to die just the same. We're not going to build it any better, because like I said, many, 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 many years ago, with the hose reel, the planet is over. It's completely fucking sad, people. Everybody's like, oh, you don't like Chinese shit? Buy something made in USA. Guess what, folks? It's over. It's over. There is no quality left, period. It doesn't matter the brand. It doesn't matter the country. The planet is fucking over. Suncast, made in USA. All parts, made in USA. Piece of shit. There was one time that I was at Home Depot, and they had an umbrella stand, a patio umbrella stand. It's the kind that's made out of plastic, as everything is today, and you fill it with water. And that's the weight to hold the umbrella so it doesn't tip over in that. And that's fine. You might be able to fill it with sand if you have that instead, but typically it's made to hold water. And that was really it. The plastic on that, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, it was printed right on there, made in USA. And this has got to be before 2020. It was like 2018 maybe. The plastic on that thing was so thin, if it were any thinner, I could spit through it. Okay? That's how thin that plastic was. And it was made in America. Well, that certainly shows me that it's not a matter of bring back quality in America. No, we only make shit today because if we made good products, nobody would buy them. You already changed the public's perception. It used to be that you would go to Kmart and buy a Lakewood or a Lasco fan, and a lot of them are still around today. The fan twerps will show you their whole collection 74 times on the same fan in all different ways, turning it on and off in different speeds and sticking their dick in the blades, you know, whatever gets them off that day. They'll show it to you. They were great. They were overbuilt. A lot of them never were oiled, and they still work today. But if you compare the prices of what it cost back in '78 and do like an inflation calculator, you look at that thing, it's like, I'm not paying $150 for that thing. Back then, it might have been, you know, I don't know, $50. That was a lot of money to spend back in '78. But shit, that was well worth it because it lasted all that time. If you put a $150 price tag on it, nobody's going to buy it today because we've been conditioned to buy shit for cheap. Now you could go buy one of them for $20 at Walmart. They're total crap. But what do you expect for $20? I want one better that's made in the USA. Well, the only thing you could do is buy an old one. And even then, you're taking your chances. We're fucked. The whole country's fucked. Octember's fucked. Everything is just fucked. So I'll clean this out and put it back together and I guess let it totally die and then get rid of it. Hooray, there's no resolution. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you click like. Make sure you click subscribe and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.